Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick. Welcome to the first ever first try in 2015. Today we are going to take a look at Mechs&Mercs Black Talons, a RTS developed by Camel11, which you might know from the game Gemini Wars, which was not that good acclaimed by many people. Let's see if this is the case with Mechs&Mercs as well, or if they turned around the ship and brought a good product. Before we're going to take a look at the game, we take a look at the options menu first, as always. And we have the video options right here. We have here resolution options, quite a nice range of resolutions there. You can toggle full screen on or off, go away. You can play a little bit with the gamma, you can turn shadows on or off, you can turn FXA on or off, and you also get a little tooltip also of what this option does. Very nice options menu in my opinion. A little bit small, but it does its job, trust me. Then you have the gameplay options. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Audio options. One thing I'd like to add is that voice acting should not go to the sound effects, because there are some sound effects in this game that are quite a little bit loud, and I'm going to show you that. I've muted the sound effects in my playtesting because it really was hurting my ears, and I want to inflict that pain on you as well. So I'm not a mean person by any way, stretch of arm. No, I'm definitely not. And last, but by no means least, the controls. So you can see camera scrolling with W, A, S and D. You have the pause time button, which can be used for a tactical view, where you can plan out your routes. You can create groups of units with left control, and you can hide your UI totally with pressing the G button. Because this is a first impression series, I'm going to start a new game. I already have a save game with 4 missions done, one of which was with a mech. It was quite interesting, but let's take a look what the game has to show you as a novice when you start off.
Not long ago,
and
peace in the inner system.
We are going to skip the cutscenes because, yeah, the cutscenes are about 2.5 to 3 minutes long, and they basically show you the main storyline, so we are going to skip them totally. And there you have it. We have a little message, and that's basically the introduction to this mission. And this little cutscene always plays when you start off in a mission. This is also skippable. So nothing is forced upon you, to say the least. And there we go, here is the map, and you will land very shortly. Damn it. I could have toggled off tutorials in the options menu, because that happens. No thanks, I don't want any tutorials anymore. So, this is a landing zone. There you can call upon reinforcements, as well as dropships. And as you can see, dropships have a cooldown, which counts down in a arbitrary metric. It's not really seconds, but it's not really 2 seconds as well, so I don't really know. One thing we will notice relatively shortly is that there are different units and they move at a different pace. As you can see, the longer we move, the farther behind heavy units are going. So, let's split them up. The fun thing is, these engineers, which are currently bugging out, okay, are crucial to this mission. And when you engage with them in combat, the first thing enemies do are... What the okay. The first thing enemies are doing is simply focus firing the supporters, also the engineers. I'm going to do a little bit of mathematics here. One thing about unit behavior that is very interesting is that it is possible for you to define ambiguous states for this. You can confuse the AI relatively simply, because for one, you have the movement behavior, you have rapid move and move. In move, they will stop and attack an enemy as soon as it is inside. And you have hold fire and fire at will. Now, you can imagine what happens if you do rapid move and fire at will. I want to show you that. Because sometimes the AI bugs a little bit out and doesn't know what to do. Shall we move? Shall we shoot? And this way you can lose quite a lot of units. So why this is allowed and why this is allowed anyways, I don't really know. But in my opinion, it's a little bit of a design flaw. Because I don't know, having such ambiguous states in AI behavior can confuse the hell out of people. And to say the least, this game is not very casual friendly. To say the absolute least. It is by no means casual friendly. So, we have enemies behind cover. Luckily they are only light armor. And when I go over this bridge I'm on exposed ground and I will take more damage. So let's see what happens. You see what happens. So I will just remain sitting on exposed ground because the movement behavior is not really good.
Our units are engaging the enemy. No one can stop us. Man down. Okay, moving.
That is good. That is very good of you. Very good. Could you move up, please? That is stupid. What are you doing? I could have used the pause screen button there, but it was here to prove a point of these ambiguous states, and yeah, it is not really good if that happens.
Our units are engaging the enemy.
So, my units are fighting, that is good.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully I won't lose that unit there. No, I won't. They can control the landing zone, and we go on to the next point. Sound effects and sound design. The soundtrack is on the maps relatively minimalistic. It does its job, it's not bad,
Structural sabotage
or something like that. Voice acting is decent, in my opinion.
Let's move. Give us a target.
And
Securing landing.
now we are coming to the sound effects. Guns and explosions from units that are invoked from units
Structural sabotage
are
successful.
not so bad, in my opinion. And I lose.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Come on, they are in the crossfire. And that's what I mean with sound effects, by the way.
Our units are engaged.
This fire is really loud. Why the hell are they still alive? They're in crossfire, goddammit.
Waiting for your orders. Our units are engaged.
Okay, interesting. Interesting, really interesting. Normally this shouldn't have been any no problem at all for my units, because crossfire basically means you are pretty much dead. But okay. So I've lost another squad. Okay, that's fine with me. By the way, all losses are permanent, so when a squad completely dies, you have lost it forever. Whoops. It happens. One thing that I can't show in this mission is heavy squads and mechs. Heavy squads are moving really slow. But they have a... let's say... there is a heavy squad. What their feat is that they basically tank everything and deal a tremendous amount of damage. On the other hand, medium squads, for example, they move relatively slow. If you don't have any special units in them, they are crap. And they only cost 50 resources, which are, by the way, up there.
Yes, sir.
They only cost 50 resources less. And speaking of light units are basically, I don't know, cannon fodder. You run 1 square too far, not really, but 1 meter too far, and they immediately die. Because, I don't know, because the wind came from the west and not from the north. You know what I mean. They don't have any protection whatsoever. And that is a great deal of imbalance we're having here. I'm stopping this mission right here to show you what you can do if you are in the hangar. So once you've dealt with this mission, you're coming to your control ship, to your mothership, to say the least. And there you have control over your squads. Yes, I have lost quite a lot of them. You notice that there is a plus sign on the stats. That's basically the leveling up. By killing enemies, infantry squads are leveling up, engineer squads are leveling up by building buildings. And you can put these things either into stat upgrades or into these little tech trees. You see that that these tech trees are relatively small, so if you are really good with a unit, and this unit is basically killing it all, then it levels up really fast, and you basically have leveled the tech trees relatively fast. And then the only thing remains to that remains to level up is health, armor, accuracy, and then short, long range, and cover bonuses. Yeah, not quite exciting. Mechs. There you can customize your mechs on the mech bay. Basically see that there are a variety of different cannons you can use, and you have different pilots. The only thing in what I've seen so far is that you need a pilot with a certain skill level in order to use the mech. There is basically no other difference than that, so you can use any pilot whatsoever, and I don't know why I have 4, so that's interesting as well. On the hangar you can prepare dropships for missions. In the command center you can choose missions, and as you can see, contracts are generated. And this is the next thing I am a little bit concerned about, because you can see the timers are going down, down, down. I leave the map, and if you count with me, 1, 2, 3, that counters should have gone down further. Nope, they didn't. I know, this is just my opinion, but when you have countdowns until missions unlock and you are in the mothership to customize your units and customize your mechs and buy new units and mechs, this time should be used in order to load the missions, you know, to prepare that I can simply say, okay, I'm done upgrading, now what mission I have to do next, and then you go to the command center and see, okay, I have to wait 1.27 time units whatsoever until the next mission unlocks. That is, in my opinion, not good. Not really good. That is something that disturbs me greatly. By the way, cool music on the black market. And there you can see you have different price points for different squads. You have pilots here, you have medium squads. Buy heavy squads, they are good. No, one thing I wanted to say though, that is a problem if you only buy heavy units, is that the dropship, it has a capacity when it comes to weight, and yeah, this is a problem if you want to take mechs and only heavy units. I might be able to show you that while we are waiting. You have seen there are units moving, basically crawling around, so one thing I'd like to have in this game would be game speed settings. Something that is very known from StarCraft is that you can play the game at double speed or 1.5 times the speed that is normal. It would be good here as well, because you have a tactical pause screen where you can basically think through your moves, and I haven't shown the pause screen off as well, but I'm not tactical, come on, I'm here to show you the game. Oh, it's part of the game. Whatever. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the contract data, so one thing that I've noticed, because I'm using a multi-monitor setup, is the game is on my main monitor. And what do you do with RTSs? Well, you go on the very edge of the screen in order to scroll it. There is a problem with multi-monitor setups, because when you go too far left or right, or wherever the boundary for your next monitor is, the mouse goes out of the window. What happens when the mouse goes out of the window? Yes, you click out of the window. Luckily, the game pauses and remembers its state, so that is not that big of a deal, but it is annoying at times. What else do we have here? Performance-wise, yes. Performance... I'm waiting a very long time for these contracts, aren't I? Yeah. performance. You might have noticed that there we go. Yeah, let's take this. You might have noticed that the game doesn't really run at 60 FPS. Sometimes it does, but it might be because I'm recording. But in combat scenes, especially with a lot of units, it drops to 40 or lower FPS. Now, if you take a look at the minimum requirements of this game, and my rig being kind of mid-range with a GTX 750 Ti and a i7 of the second generation, I kind of want to say that the game is not very well optimized for medium to high-end PCs, but I would love to hear your opinion there if you have a high-end PC or something like that and have played the game by any chance. So, let's customize our squad for the next mission. Yes, I should assign a pilot. Yeah, whatever. Go mech. And yeah, you can see you have a cargo limit, and you can also see that the weight is pretty much killing then the point of heavy units being in the first dropship. But you can always call them to reinforce your units while you're at the mission. So basically, having a lot of heavy units is no problem whatsoever. You can start off with a bunch of them, and then you can increase the number of them to a powerful, overwhelmingly big force. So that's basically everything I want to say about this game. Conclusions, and disillusions. It has some nice... That is highly disturbing. There were a lot of good intentions in this game, don't get me wrong. You have your leveling up system of the units. The tech trees are not that interesting, sadly. You have a tactical gameplay and all that kind of stuff. But the way how the units are balanced basically kills it for most of the time. So in my opinion, this game didn't really make it. As an avid gamer, I'd say no. But if you're a fan of the genre, if you love RTSs and if you love deep tactical gameplay, then you can surely give it a try. So that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. That's Mechs&Mercs Black Talons. Currently available until the 16th of January. It is in a launch sale for 17 euros or the regional equivalent. Otherwise it will be available for 20 euros or your regional equivalent. My name has been Nick, ladies and gentlemen, and this game sadly didn't really cut it. And with that said, I shall see you next time.